Well, longevity is always something to be celebrated in property, and I'm delighted to say happy 21st birthday to one of our major sponsors and supporters, Northwood, and I'm joined by MD Eric Walker. And Eric, fantastic in this day and age to celebrate 21 years in business. And I think it'd be good to go back to the beginning, because Northwood was founded in 1995 for landlords by a landlord, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Our founder, Andy Goodson, saw there was a hole in the market. He wanted to come up with a product where a landlord didn't have to worry about all the technical side and the money and the void periods and all the rest of it. He wanted to create something where they would be safe knowing that they were just going to get their rent. And that's how it was born. It was a very simple idea with hindsight, but all ideas are simple when someone else thinks of them.
We're talking there about the guaranteed rent,
Yeah.
of course, aren't we? Which really has been a kind of market leader. And how has the philosophy changed much over the 21 years?
No, guaranteed rent is at the heart of what we do. We just do other things as well, but guaranteed rent is at the core of our business, and it's growing. We now have 21,000 landlords. We have a rent roll of nearly £100 million a year. So I can only see it going in one direction, and that's upwards.
And also a landmark year for you, because you've joined with Belvoir, which makes you the biggest property franchise group in the UK with Belvoir. And really there's strength in numbers, isn't there?
Oh, it's given us an array of new opportunities. I was personally very excited at the Belvoir acquisition. We are delighted to work with them. Dorian Gonsalves, my friend at Belvoir, was also a founder of Safe Agent. We knew each other through that. We have exactly the same ethos on customer service, compliance and regulation. And to me, it's a marriage made in heaven.
Now, you mentioned Safe Agent, and of course one thing that Northwood has always been really passionate about and at the forefront of is helping raise standards, and that again has been part of your philosophy, Northwood being a founder member of Safe Agent.
Yeah, fundamentally Safe Agent was there for clients' money protection insurance, but that leads on to a myriad of other things that need to be introduced so tenants are treated fairly, such as the disclosure of fees. There's a huge number of things. We would like to see the industry regulated, but frankly at the moment there's little point until such time as the regulators start policing the regulations they've already put upon us, and too many people are still ignoring them. And that's why tenant awareness is so important. It's very difficult for trading standards with their limited resources to police things. But if tenants are aware of their rights and what agents should be doing, then they can almost police it themselves.
Absolutely. Now, we mentioned at the beginning of the interview longevity, 21 years. Northwood have been through 2 recessions, 3 property cycles. That gives you so much experience to call on, but also, definitely gives consumers confidence that you're here to stay.
We're in a very fortunate position, to be honest. The last recession was cataclysmic. I think everyone will agree that. But what better time for people to look at a guaranteed rent product? So we can survive recession because guaranteed rent helps people who may be a bit precarious financially. It gives them security, peace of mind. That's the one thing they don't have to worry about in a recession. But when recession starts to abate as it is at the moment, then of course we have our traditional lettings, we do property sales, so we're just increasing the stable of products we offer people.
Indeed. And looking forward now, you're not going to deny that there's a lot of challenges facing the private rented sector, the biggest one being of course Section 24. What's your view on that?
Well, I think the big challenge we face is voters. The majority of voters aren't landlords. So they're very predisposed towards thinking landlords should pay more tax. The reality is over 75% of landlords own one property. Of those landlords, most of them could only afford 1 month without rent. They're in a very difficult position. They make very small margins. They have to look after the property, conduct repairs. And what worries me is under Clause 24, they could, if interest rates would go up, they could be paying tax on a loss, which is ridiculous. So the net effect of that on the tenants will be fewer properties to rent, and fewer properties to rent means higher rents. So it's something that must be reviewed, not just because of the tax, but simply because it is pure discrimination against a private landlord. When every other business, large or small, can offset their losses against their tax. And why should landlords be forced to pay tax on losses. It's wrong.
I totally agree, of course, and many of those landlords that you talk about, the smaller landlords, they probably don't even have Section 24 on their radar. So are you going to be playing a role in making sure that they understand the implications and helping them prepare?
Of course we will. At the moment it's going for a judicial review. That's been brought about, and it would be unwise of us to comment on what happens until it has been reviewed. Nevertheless, if the worst comes to the worst and it is imposed on landlords, we will do everything we can to help them. And my network, I have to say, are very well versed. Many of them are landlords themselves, and we will be giving them the best advice they can possibly get.
So just to finish then, Eric, the future looking bright for Northwood?
The future looks great. I mean, we've done really well over the last 21 years. We've expanded into a great company. We have a fabulous network. And now with the joining of Belvoir, we've got a whole new vein of resources open to us whilst retaining our own identity. So yes, I think the future looks absolutely wonderful.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations on 21 years. And again, thank you for Northwood's support of Property Tribes. You've been a stalwart supporter of the forum, and myself and Nick personally, we really appreciate that. So all the best for the next 21 years.
Thank you.